Yeah, we're talking different trends. I mean, there have been different strategies to try and woo the voters on the ground. One of that is social media.
Oh, yes. Those hashtags.
Yeah.
Those trends.
Somebody's been watching that. Jean Kloppers, CEO, BrandsEye. Let's see what they've been eyeing there from BrandsEye. Jean, good morning to you and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you.
Yeah, what has your observation been like? How different political parties use the social media to try and attract the voters on the ground? What have you observed?
Yeah, it's been a fascinating kind of growth from 2014. You know, if we look at the results, we kind of see what is representative. I think it's kind of seeing social media come of age in South Africa as well as the rest of the world as smartphones become more pervasive. But what we've seen is kind of across the board, interestingly, the ANC has lost an average of 22% of support on social media, which is quite massive, except in the Western Cape where they've grown by 3.5%. Which was kind of a surprising result, but it is the social media landscape is looking like we kind of expect the elections to go. You know, the DA has gained in all provinces except on its home ground in the Western Cape. The EFF has gained 17% across the provinces, with kind of the biggest one being in Limpopo, where it's gained 40% of support on social media. And the DA is kind of looking very strong in the Eastern Cape at least, which is what we expected. And Gauteng's neck and neck. So social media is really telling the story that's it's not different to what the polls are saying at least, which is encouraging for us.
Yeah. Now, you've gone through the quantity. Let's discuss the quality of those tweets. I mean, we're seeing different dynamics playing themselves out on social media. The hostility that's there, the tit for tat, this party against that party, the leaders and the supporters, the clashes that we're seeing there. Is that something new? Has it grown in intensity?
I think it has. Yeah. It certainly feels much more personal than it did in the last election. You know, if you look at just the conversations against the leader, and particularly Musi, he's taken quite a beating. I think people are feeling threatened and not sure, you know, and so both the other two, you know, biggest competitors, being the ANC and the EFF, are kind of coming out against him. Zuma takes the normal amount of flack that I think he has for the past couple of years. So that's not really too much of a surprise. From an engagement perspective, that was actually interesting. Zuma's not on Twitter, so he's impossible to measure. He doesn't say anything in his personal capacity, whereas Maimane and Malema, they do. And so over the past week, they've both tweeted of the order of 250 to 300 tweets, and have both gotten an engagement of a similar level, which I was actually quite surprised by. That between the two of them, they're getting similar engagement. If you look at the sort of resonance of the hashtags, you brought it up earlier, the EFF hashtag of EFF Waya all the way hasn't resonated that much. It's kind of used 200 times, whereas the DA for Change hashtag was used almost 1,000 times in the sample that we looked at. So it does feel like where the qualitative sort of resonance of the different parties, the ANC hashtag was Asinavalo is the one that they've been trying to promote, you know, which is we're not afraid. And that also was actually similar to the EFF one, 278 mentions of that.
All right.
So I think that, pardon?
Yeah, just round it off. Yeah, we're listening.
All right. So I think from a resonance perspective, that DA for Change, I think they've probably the most successful at coming up with a hashtag that people are actually kind of grabbing onto and saying, yeah, we're gonna promote that. Okay. Of all the parties.
JP Kloppers, let's thank you for being with us this morning, watching social trends and